Hello, hello, hello. I'm author and entrepreneur, the cerebral palsy, vigilante, Zachary Fennell, and you are watching the continuation of my series, Making of a Memoir, a video series documenting the hard work involved in the writing and self-publishing a book. Today is Friday, April 9th, right around noon. My goal I set, or the target I set in the last episode of Making of a Memoir, was to revise one chapter a day. I've done that from April 9th. Chapter 8 was the chapter I was on, so chapter 8's done. It's revised, or not done, but it's been looked over, it's been revised, I've made my notes, I've made some changes. Now we move on, work this afternoon, and then back at it tomorrow with another chapter and another day of revising. It is amazing how setting a goal gives you accountability. 10:03 p.m. on April 10th. My goal that I've set recently to edit a chapter a day, I was on the border of not getting it done today. After the Indians game ended, I was like, one chapter. That's all I have to do to meet my goal. And having that goal, having that tangible goal, I just went for it. And so now I have my chapter for the day. I'm 9 chapters into the editing process, 30 in total. 30 total chapters for the current installment of my manuscript. We'll get back on it tomorrow. 10:16 on Sunday, April 11th. Again, the one chapter a day goal saves me. Today was my first day off since Easter. And having the day off, having the chance to rest, finally hit me how tired I was from working 6 days in a row. I could have easily just passed on doing a chapter tomorrow, making up my chapter for today tomorrow. But again, knowing that it's an attainable goal of one chapter. After I exercised tonight, I grabbed my Kindle and I read through that chapter, marking up some notes. Mostly grammar stuff today, not really story-related stuff. Somewhere I used the word participation in, like, moving in participation when it should be anticipation. So yeah, today was just mostly grammar stuff I was finding, but I wouldn't have even found it had I just said, no, dude, I'll do 2 chapters tomorrow. Having that attainable goal saved me again. Another day, another chapter. Monday, April 12th. I just finished editing my chapter for the day. Interesting note in editing this chapter. Earlier I mentioned the Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio walk, rock, and run event, where I was both screwing up in writing the book, the name of the organization, Diversity Center of Northeast Ohio, and the name of the event itself, walk, rock, and run. As I was reading on my Kindle, I came across the reference to that event again, and I saw, I'm like, well, let me just make a note to double check to make sure this part was changed. And it hadn't been, because I had done a search for Diversity Center to find all the references I've made to it, the event, and make sure they were consistent. But this one reference in chapter 11 that I just read through had diversity and center not together in the, I think I had like Northeast Ohio's diversity something, but they weren't together. So just reading through, I'm like, it's a good thing I made that note because I was able to make that change. And at the same time, I realized that I had I had another where I would wrote like, it was like rock, walk, and run, walk, rock, and roll or something instead of walk, rock, and run. And then, find and replace missed that when I was editing earlier because of the commas. So the whole moral of this update, I guess, is to always, keep your eye out as you're editing. Don't assume, or I guess a better way to put it, find and replace isn't perfect. You still have to pay attention as you're editing your manuscript. So yeah, that's my update for Monday, April 12th. I'll be back tomorrow with an update after I edit my one chapter a day. Good morning for Tuesday, April 13th, almost 10:30, and it is indeed a good morning for me as I not only went through my chapter for the day, I went through not one, but not two, but 3 chapters this morning. I worked this afternoon. Probably just going to leave it at the 3 chapters for the day. Come back tomorrow with the idea of a chapter a day. Very much same thing. First and foremost, looking over story elements. For example, in what I just edited this morning, the first official mile I did since like elementary school, I mentioned I finished in 28 minutes and 1 second. That 28 minutes and 1 second, somewhere in a later chapter I referenced as only 27 minutes. So it's those little inconsistencies I'm looking to correct right now, which I did. And then there's just some like tense and grammar that I'm not intently going through grammar right now, but if I catch something that is spelled wrong, like incentivize, I had spelled as incentive. And so I was able to pick that out and change that. And we'll continue to do that. First and foremost, looking at the story element, but secondly, also picking up whatever grammar I come across and spelling I come across. We continue this tomorrow. Wednesday, April 14th, 3:20 p.m. This morning before work, I actually made notes on my chapter on my Kindle, and then just now I've gone through and I took action on those notes, making the edits I needed. Again, today was mostly story purpose. One of the big concerns I had writing the draft, I was actually able to address today in the story. My friend Nate, who did the first official 1 mile since my first official 1 mile since elementary school, he goes on to actually do the half marathon with me, which at one point I thought was like, okay, that's all I can complete is a half marathon. So when basically Nate disappears after the half marathon, and he disappears from the book because he moved overseas to Taiwan. And I wanted to make sure I had that mentioned in there so it's not like, gee, what happened to Nate? And now, so I found a spot where I could put in that Nate was moving overseas. And now the reader, when they read the book, won't be like, whatever happened to Nate? They'll know. And happy Thursday, April 15th, about 12:45 in the afternoon. I spent the morning going through not one, not two, not three, but four chapters. I worked this evening at 5. I could get another chapter uh, gone through right now. So I'm 19 chapters in. I've looked over 19 chapters. Another 11 to go, plus the epilogue, short epilogue. But I'm going to make that decision in a little bit. The Indians are playing this afternoon. I feel like I've made enough progress with getting 4 chapters done today, getting the 3 chapters done 2 days ago, that I don't have to press myself to do more right now. I will come back later with a further update to wrap up this episode of Making of a Memoir. So as that tweet indicated, I did do one more chapter, putting me at 5 chapters for the day. I'm 62% done into the manuscript, making these initial edits. I will continue with a new Making of a Memoir episode tomorrow. This is episode 38, or has been episode 38. Episode 39, we'll see the continuation of editing, at least one chapter a day. But because I don't work tomorrow, I'm hoping, or not hoping, I plan to make tomorrow at least another 5 chapters, if not more. And yes, that's that. Do you have any questions about what I've shared in today's video about my editing process? What self-editing tips do you have? Leave your questions, leave those tips in the comments below. If you've watched to this point, that probably means you've enjoyed today's video. So hit the thumbs up icon to let YouTube and the world know. So to get more from me, make sure you are subscribed to my channel and have rung the bell icon to get updated, notified every time I publish a new video. Until then, remember, don't blend in, blend out.